One of the biggest misconceptions that gamblers and customers alike out there have is that they put too much stock, too much weight into a handicapper's win-loss record, or they're always inquiring about their winning percentage. Trust me, I see the emails that come through over all these years and operating these sites through customer service. I'm hit with that question all the time by radio hosts or in TV interviews. And case in point, last night I hit 2 out of 3 in basketball. 66%, right? Sounds like a great night, 2 out of 3. But it was a losing night because my top rated play, a 15-dime release on Vanderbilt, was a loser, and my 2 lower rated plays, 5-dime selections on Oklahoma City in the NBA and in college basketball, the University of Texas, won. Won 10 dimes, lost 16.5 dimes with the vig, net loss 6.5 dimes for the day. Went 2-1, hit 66% of the plays, but had a losing night. And again, you can never fall victim to those type of marketing tactics, sales tactics. Whenever you see somebody that's advertising a winning record, right next to it, you should see some type of net loss or net profit statement. You've got to see what the profit is. The other scam is, so many guys in this business will say, I've won 17 out of 22 weeks. Okay, well, what was the net profit for the 17 winning weeks versus the 5 losing weeks? Then you look at the overall profit for the entire 22-week period. That's what makes a difference. So these are just a couple of things that you always got to be aware of as a consumer, as a gambler, as a customer out there. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here. If you haven't figured that out by now, hell, you clicked on the button, you're watching the video, right? 43-23-1 run with the free picks, taking a split last night. Couldn't be any easier than Xavier scoring 100 points in a rout of LaSalle. Of course, that NBA pick on the Memphis Grizzlies, not too good. Tonight, 3 more selections coming your way. In the SEC, LSU and Mississippi State. In the Big 12, Colorado and Texas Tech. And in the NBA, Melo's debut at the Garden. We'll take a look at the Knicks and the Bucks game. Let's get started now with your Mississippi State LSU contest. Mississippi State's coming off a 71-58 win at home against Ole Miss on Saturday. That after consecutive road losses in which they blew leads at Auburn and Kentucky. Now, these two met back on February 5th in Baton Rouge, and Mississippi State won that game 58-57 as a 1-point favorite. Not surprised that they struggled in that game because they were coming off a loss to Alabama by 14 points a few nights earlier. In that game also, their starting point guard, DeBost, 2 for 9 from the field, 5 turnovers, only 9 total points, well under his season average of 16.5. Plus, Revern Johnson, their leading scorer at 17 points a game, was suspended for that contest. The only guy who really delivered that night for Miss State was their center, Renardo Sidney, who had 16 points, 11 rebounds, as LSU simply couldn't contend with them. Now, LSU has lost 10 straight games, gave everything they had in a 7-point loss to Florida over the weekend at home, 68-61. But this is a team that's just 9-17 against the spread on the road as a dog the past year and a half. They haven't scored more than 62 points in any SEC contest this season. They lost by 19 points at Arkansas, and the Razorbacks aren't that good. They lost by 6 at Ole Miss, 24 at Alabama, 38 at Kentucky, 22 at Tennessee. That's the results of their last 5 SEC highway outings. So I'll go ahead and lay the 9 points with Mississippi State against LSU in this game that tips off at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Now in the Big 12, going at 7:30 Eastern Time, you've got Texas Tech, surprisingly, as a 1.5-point home dog against Colorado. And I say surprising because Texas Tech just pulled off a big road upset of Baylor 78-69, a game that they won despite the fact that their second leading scorer, Mike Singletary, did not play in that contest. Now, a lot of people look at Pat Knight's team, and it's certainly been a disappointing season. They look at that 4-game losing streak they just snapped against Baylor, but what you have to realize is those 4 losses came against Kansas and Texas A&M at the home, and at Texas and at Missouri on the road. So, I mean, they played the 4 best teams in the Big 12 and lost them all. It doesn't surprise me. But then they went to Baylor, minus their second leading scorer, and won for only the second time in 9 road outings. Now, last year, these two played in the Big 12 tournament, and Colorado committed 19 turnovers in that game, and Texas Tech won outright as a 1-point dog, 82 to 67. So you would think Colorado on the road would be the revenge play, but the Buffaloes, after a strong start, have returned to earth. They've lost 7 of their last 9 games straight up. They're coming off a 26-point loss at Kansas on Monday night. They also previously lost on the Big 12 Highway by 16 at Missouri, 4 at Baylor, 7 at lowly Oklahoma, 12 at Nebraska. Both these teams like to run the motion offense. Both press non-stop defensively, playing aggressive man-to-man defense. But again, Singletary's back, 12.8 points a game, 5.7 rebounds. He's expected to play tonight. So I think Texas Tech will win this game outright as the home dog. Finally, we swing over into the NBA. Listen, I know the Milwaukee Bucks have absolutely owned the New York Knicks. They've won 8 of the last 9 meetings straight up, including 4 straight at the Garden. They've covered 7 of the last 8. But this is a different New York Knicks team. And this is a Milwaukee team that, despite last night's home victory over Minnesota, has still dropped 8 of its last 11 games straight up. Now, the Knicks did trade away both their starting forwards. They got that guy, Carmelo Anthony, back in return. They also traded away their starting point guard, but I do say that I will take Chauncey Billups over Raymond Felton any day of the week, plus another one. And I look at this lineup that they're going to field tonight, and often it takes players, obviously, quite a time period to mesh. But when you're importing a veteran starting point guard who has seen Amari Stoudemire many, many times playing against him in the West over the years when he was with Phoenix, and you've got your veteran point guard coming in with your new big scorer, I'll go with the Knicks in this one. Yes, they are a 7.5-point favorite. They're a little bit overpriced, but I still think the Knicks are the way to go. So your free picks again are Mississippi State, Texas Tech, and the New York Knicks. Good luck, everybody, and I'll catch you again on Thursday.